Hello, welcome to It's on the RV List. Happy Easter, everybody. I'm out camping because I got that extra Friday off, and I don't have any little ones hunting Easter eggs this year. So, some parental advice, speaking of Easter. When you get your new video camera and you're all excited and you decide, I'm going to go film the Easter Bunny hiding eggs, don't do that, please, because later when you review the video and the kids are there, they kind of come to some revelations that make Easter not as fun. So, from my experience, there's some parental advice there for you. So anyway, I'm at a place, you can see outside. Oh, there's an RV behind me. I'm at a place called Salmon Lake Park. This is kind of a surprise. I found it on Camp Spot, and it looked kind of cool because it talked about some old houses and stuff that were on the property, but I didn't know how cool it would be. So I wanted to make a video mostly on this park. And the weather is really crappy. Got my window open here because it's been raining. It's been really, really windy. So video outside didn't work very well at all. So I didn't really add any sound on that stuff. But anyway, so Salmon Lake Park is in a place called Grapeland, Texas. It used to be a train depot between Palestine and Crockett. And it was just, you know, I don't even know what year it said it was. But anyway, the owners had this property, and they started moving some of the old houses that were getting torn down in Grapeland out to their property. And there's a bunch. It's really cool. Some of the houses are from the 1900s. And what the owners did was they kept the outside the same, and then they redid the inside, and they rent them out as cabins. So they're really neat. I've got a bunch of them on video here. They also have a bluegrass festival here every year. I think it's in the fall. May be wrong. They got a store. They got all kinds of stuff out here. It's really nice. Really nice lake. They got two lakes, actually. One that you can swim in and one that you can fish in. I didn't make it out to the one you could fish. This place is huge. And I walked and walked and walked. Anyway, the owners are very, very nice. They're very responsive. I actually had to reschedule because I didn't realize I had a conflict a couple of weeks ago. And I'll turn my phone off like a good YouTuber. And anyway, so I had to reschedule, and I just sent them an email. They rescheduled, no problem. Also, when I first got out here, the sewer cap was so tight I could not get it off at all. It's hot in here, sorry. And so I left them a voicemail, and they came right out. They popped that lid off. Of course, it was easy for him. And they also let me borrow some bricks for the sewer hose, because where I'm parked, it's a little tilted, so it's a little strange. You drive out here, and there's hundreds of RV spots. You just pick one, and I went all the way to the end, and I drove up to one, and I'm like, there's no sewer. I thought there was supposed to be sewer, and I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. This really nice camper came over, and he said, oh, these are all camping. Come up here on the hill. So I'm up on this hill, and he helped me kind of get up and figure out where to park. And then once I got all that done, then I was trying to deal with the sewer. But anyway, the owners are really nice. They have a little family out here. You can see the kids out here running around because there's really nobody else out here right now at this time of year. Let's see. The fields that you're in are kind of sandy. The streets are kind of sandy, so kind of be aware of that. I hate wearing flip-flops in the sand. It gets sand all over your feet, and it's hard to get in, and the dogs. But anyway, that's probably the only thing I didn't really like about here. But it's a lot better than having like gravel all over the place, honestly. I did get to go out of here a couple days. Was it Friday, I think? And I drove around downtown hoping to find some cool stuff, but the town is really small. I looked it up on the internet, and it said 1,400 people, and it said the town was 2 square miles and half of it was water, which I thought that was kind of weird. So anyway, there's not that many people here. A lot of just houses in town. There's a little grocery store. It's a I've never seen one of these. It's a Brookshire's, but it's a gas station, and it's like half a grocery store. It's not the full grocery store, but it's pretty cool. And then, of course, they have the Dollar General. Those are everywhere. The dollar stores, things like that. I went to the Dollar General, and the guy, the cashier was real sweet. I don't know how we ended up talking about Grapeland. I think I brought up the whole thing about it being 2 miles wide. And he started talking about how he was related to Sam Houston's daughter. And I'm like, we're related, because my let's see, how is it? My great-great-grandmother or his aunt or something. Yeah, something in there was Sam Houston's last wife. Her last name was Lee. And so when he was in office, it was his wife then. But it kind of went, so I was like, yeah, you're definitely related. Because I don't think he even picked up on what I said. But anyway, that was my adventure in town. There's also some cows out here. I don't see any today. Yesterday morning they were getting really frisky. There was a mama out here with some little babies. They looked like probably twin babies because they were following her around. And then there was a male, or what is it, bull out here. She was not having it. So anyway, it's kind of funny to watch how she's running away from him. So anyway, let's see. I'll go ahead and start some of the video that I took. Driving in, it was okay. It was like we passed the cemetery, and then you started kind of getting into the area that you drive in. And there's some equipment, some little Jeeps and things. I mean, tractors out there, an old car, an old fence. You're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then there's a sign right there when you get in. Once you get in, you start seeing a lot more. You start seeing the buildings. The buildings will be on the right when you come in. This view is actually on the left. So there's an old house right there. Wild Bill's Trading Camp, I think is what it was. And there's it says livery station up on that little stand-up thing. There's an old car, some old vehicles there. So it's kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's neat. And then you stop and you check in. A little farther down, you've got some old tankers sitting out there. There's a couple of those. Some more equipment. Some of the equipment, I didn't even know what in the heck it was. It was really old. And then you kind of drive down some more. Okay, so this is the actual town that they brought in and put on the property. So these buildings, they're really cool. Like I said, they left the outside and they redid the inside, so you can actually rent out some of them. But I think some of them, they just got shut up and locked where you can't get into them. So, of course, the first place I headed for was the jail. The jails are always interesting to me. I don't know why. The jailhouse was actually open, so I was really happy to get to actually go in there. So you can see here's and I'm sorry, the camera is probably wobbling all over the place. That's just the way I walk. Hopefully I don't give anybody, get them dizzy or anything, but it was inside the jail. Some old books there, it's kind of cool. And a lot of these videos, I'll just let y'all look at them because they're kind of long, some of them. Okay. As you step out of the jail, you kind of got this view. There's an old windmill over there. Some other old buildings. And then from the other side, there's a cafe, a hotel. I thought the hotel was cool. I kind of wanted to go in there, but it was locked. Town Hall, I think, is a place where you can actually have weddings and things like that. This building was kind of interesting. So you'll see these carved faces here, and these were actually carved by the owner, and they were made out of one tree. That was kind of neat, I thought. I don't know why he picked an Indian and a lady. I'm not sure. And then there's a lot of old wagon wheels in here. Kind of cool. I don't know what this machine is. I think there's two. There's one hanging on each side. No, that's a wheelbarrow. But yeah, it was just kind of a little place that you could check out. It's got a picnic table there. I don't know what that is. If y'all know what some of this is, please let me know down below. Okay, I just wanted to show you this. So this is the outside, and you can tell, by the way the wood is that it's actually original wood. And then that was an outhouse. So here's my assumption. You have the men's side on the right and the ladies' side on the left. Here, and I'll explain why. I would have hated to use one of these in the wintertime. So here's the men's side. There's a little hole in the ground probably. And I'm saying this is the women's because you know we all like to go to the restroom together. I worked on that one. Okay. Outside. Kind of old. At least they got vents in there. And then I'm not really sure what this machine was either. Sorry, Molly's over there drinking. I just thought it was kind of cool. I don't know what it was used for. This is kind of behind where that first area was with the carvings. If you know what these are, let me know. Okay, so this is the inside of one of the cabins. Like I said, they've redone them. I was trying to peek in there as well as I can. It was hard because it was sunny. But you can see here's the bed here. It's kind of neat. I don't have any idea if there's a restroom in there or anything. I couldn't get in. And then this right here is the barber shop. So this was kind of cool. They just have him all kind of... I don't know why there was false teeth there on the table. That was kind of odd. Unless they clean their teeth at the barber shop. Could be because I've heard that way back in the old days that there were no surgeons. It was the barber that would do surgeries because the barber knew how to handle knives and things like that. That's something I heard, and it was really scary from what I hear, of course. I think I'd rather die. Some old barber stuff. I'm not sure where they got all this, if they'd gotten it in the original building or what. The hotel, I thought this was funny. Rooms with and without a bath. This hotel must have been fancy. This is actually a music stage. So, like I said, they have the Bluegrass Festival thing going on. Right across from that is this tree house. It was too tempting. Even though I'm afraid of heights. Yes. Yeah, I think I'll climb those. The view, it wasn't as exciting as going up, honestly. Coming down was very interesting. I kind of stopped and I was like, these steps are kind of steep. Here's behind the stage area. There's a couple more little houses up there. I think you can rent the one on the far right. I think this one on the left is where they store musical instruments. There's something on the door about musicians' place or something like that. Now down the hill from the stage and the treehouse area is the lumber mill, I guess. I think at some point in Grapeland they ended up doing lumber. And they also ended up, what else did they raise besides cotton, I think it was. But here's an old lumber mill. This was kind of neat. I don't know that much about that old machinery, so I don't know if this is in good shape or bad shape, but it was kind of cool to walk around. I don't know what machine that is. I don't know if they just stuck it in there or if it was something that they used for the lumber milling. I know a portion of my family was actually they were living in the woods chopping down trees. What do they call those people? Lumber people. I know I had some relatives in Louisiana that lived north of Urania, and they were lumber people. I guess they lived out in the woods up there, and they were chopping trees and stuff down for the lumber mills. That would be my great-great-great-grandfather, George. This, I'm not sure if it's, I don't know if there's water running down in there. If that's what that's for, I was trying to figure out. But underneath, you can tell there's a wood, like a place where maybe they had a fire going. I don't know. I couldn't figure that out. then I decided I'm going to just take a trip to town. So when I left, I kind of propped my camera up and took a picture of all these other houses and vehicles that are on the driveway into the park. I don't know if people that run the place live here or if these were renters. It's kind of neat. And I always wonder about those tin roofs. How loud are they with like hailstorms and stuff? I would think that would just be miserable. There's the rich house right there in the middle. That would be where I would live. I'd probably live in those little houses, but anyway. There is a little museum thing. I don't think it was open while I was here. There's just nobody out here. That's a big house. That's a big house. I think somebody lives in there because it looks like it's been redone a little bit better on the inside. The big window. Old tanker truck. And at some point here I got to speed up because of course somebody got behind me. There's never anybody out there, but as soon as I started filming they got behind me, so I kind of had to speed up. I like that really old car up underneath there. Yeah, here's where I had to speed up. I was like, gosh. Okay, so in town, I don't know how many of you guys like to drive around in these old towns. I love driving through them when I'm traveling. I love looking at the old buildings and trying to make out what they used to be. This had a little, kind of a little downtown, like 2 blocks maybe. It's kind of cute. Marketplace on the Main. That was actually open. Best Friends. I'm thinking that must be the pound or something, or the adoption center. Gingerbread Square. That's so cute. I don't know. There's State Bank. I don't know if that's open. If that's an actual bank right there. But yeah, that's about it. I did read that there was a haunted house in Grapeland, but the haunted house is gone, unfortunately, because I was going to go drive by there and see what I could see. Besides the houses and things like that the adults are probably more into, they also have a really nice park. It's kind of on the other side of where the stage is. You can swim. The lake that's here is got a sandy bottom, so you don't have to worry about stepping on things. And then check this out. This is the water slide. I don't know if I'd go on this thing or not, but it looks kind of fun. If I was a kid, maybe. Knew I wouldn't break my neck. And that's about it. I'm going to actually put up another video that has more of the houses and the things that I took videos of. There's a post office, there's another marshal's office, there's some other stuff, so I'll put that on another video because I know this one's probably getting too long. And that's about it. I did do a recipe with a surprise ingredient, so in my other video you'll see that you can actually replace these dome lights. So I did this one, I went to do the other one, and if it's not working, and I didn't realize this light was not even working in the first place, so I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with that. I also put in the shade on the door. It's called a Lippert shade. You just pop it in there so you can have a shade on that window if you need it. That's about all I did on the RV. I really just wanted to come out and rest this weekend because it's been a stressful week. I did get some rest besides the wind and the storms that were going on last night. Anyway, if you get a chance to come here, it's really worth it. That's about it for me right now, so have a good week, I guess. Hopefully I'll post another one next Sunday.